please consider subscribing and liking the video. Let's go. Fnaf is something so dear in my heart, for I've always been a fan of the franchise, just everything about it. It's so cool, interesting. The lore, the plot, the entire premise is fascinating. Get it? Little pun right there. But one of the main reasons I love Fnaf is because of the characters, especially the animatronics. Now, these guys are horrifying. The many different iterations of the animatronics always seem to amaze me, and Scott and Steelwool Games have done a great job of making them really scary. But there are some animatronics that don't get enough love. Why? Well, because they're not scary. So in this video, I wanted to go over every single Fnaf game and talk about the least scariest animatronic. This is just my opinion, of course. Some of you might actually find them creepy or terrifying, which would be very surprising. Feel free to let me know down below. So let's not waste any more time and let's get in. The beginning, where it all started, Fnaf 1. Now, overall, Fnaf 1 was a scary game because we didn't know what was going on, and the actual designs of the animatronics were really well done. Also, the atmosphere of the pizzeria was silent and creepy, knowing that the only thing keeping you safe from the killer animatronics was a single door. But in my opinion, the least scary animatronic from this one was the cupcake. The cupcake does absolutely nothing throughout the game. It just sits there on the desk staring at you. And while yes, that in itself is a little creepy, he doesn't mean you harm, compared to the others like Freddy, who looks very intimidating when he just stares up at the camera, or Foxy when he starts peeking. But back to the cupcake. We know that he does count as an animatronic and not a prop, because in Help Wanted, in Chica's Parts and Services, he gets the urge to just run off Chica's plate, meaning that he's alive for sure. But let me know what you think of this one. Moving on to one of the best Fnaf games of all time, it's Fnaf 2, a game that introduces over 15 animatronics. Now, while some of them are very scary to look at, some aren't, and for this, I think that the least scary animatronics are really any of the toy ones. I mean, come on, look at the originals in Fnaf 1, and then look at these. You just can't compare. I mean, out of the main three, I think that Toy Bonnie is the least scary because his eyes are too bright and his freaking colors are really bright. I mean, no matter what position he's in the cameras, he can never look scary. I mean, come on, look at him. He's just kneeling down to go into the vent. He's not scary. As for Toy Chica, she is also not scary at all. I mean, come on, Scott knew what he was doing. If anything, I think he'd be in love. As for the leader of the toy animatronics, Freddy, he is probably the most intimidating and scary, especially when his eyes go black and he's standing there in your office, towering over you, spazzing out a bit. For some reason though, I wonder why Toy Bonnie is the only one out of the main three toy animatronics who doesn't have that effect. The only thing is that pupils get smaller, so that's a little weird. But perhaps the most annoying and the least scary animatronic from this game is Balloon Boy, who serves to irritate the player and disable the lights from your office. On top of that, his laugh will not stop unless you get killed by someone else or somehow you survive the night. I crown him the most annoying and the least scary animatronic. I also wanted to mention that out of all the toy animatronics, the scariest is probably Mangle, because she's literally just mangled parts. A friendly version of Foxy, in my opinion? No. I think it's a more terrifying version. Now, moving on to another very good Fnaf game, and one of my favorites, Fnaf 3. Technically did not have any animatronics since Springtrap is a spring-locked suit and William Afton is a man who's in the suit, and the rest are phantoms, so they aren't technically real. But by looking at all of them, I'd say that the least scary is Phantom Freddy. Now some of you might say, hold up, why not say Phantom BB? Well, because I think it'd be kind of boring picking the same character twice in a row, but because Phantom Freddy just looks kind of funny to me when he's limping across the window in front of your office. I think that my fear of him went away while seeing how he looks walking in Help Wanted. Seeing him just go there, I don't know, for some reason, I just have a weird sense of humor. Plus, his jump scare is also kind of predictable. You kind of see it coming when he suddenly drops to the floor. You're like, hold up, he could get me, he could get me. But as far as the other Phantoms, the one I'd say is kind of the creepiest is Phantom Foxy, because his appearance is just crazy to me. His sharp teeth showing in the way he stands and the fact that he's always just standing there. A close second that I think I have for this one is probably Phantom Chica. Reasons for this is because her jump scare could actually fool you. If you look at her, then put your camera down, and then turn to the left, she could actually be there waiting, despite having you believe that you evaded her. Finally, in terms of Fnaf 3 as a whole, none of them are really that scary compared to the other ones that came before. When you think about it, Springtrap, like I said, is William Afton, a man in a suit, and the Phantoms don't exist. So, if you ask me, out of all the Fnaf games, I'd rather be in Fnaf 3 than any of the other ones. Moving on to Fnaf 4, arguably one of the scariest Fnaf games ever made, relying on only sound. In this nightmarish installment, the least threatening and not so scary character, in my opinion, is Plushtrap, because Plushtrap is a small version of Springtrap. I'm pretty sure he's smaller than a child. Now, I choose him instead of the Freddles because there's like 3 Freddles, and do you see the way they move? freakishly fast. The way they're sitting there on the bed, twitching and spazzing out, oh no. As for Plushtrap, one kick and that dude is sent flying across the hallway. Yes, he has sharp teeth, but frankly, because there's only one of him, that's the reason why I pick him. And like I said, he's very small. So I think he's the least scariest animatronic in this game. His minigame is pretty cool though. Like I said, this game is filled with crazy, nightmarish animatronics, and Plushtrap kinda seems out of place compared to everyone else. Now, I will give credit to where credit is due. With the Halloween update, we saw the addition of Nightmare BB, an upgraded version of our normal BB, this time with rows and rows of sharp teeth. I personally think that he looks scary compared to Plushtrap. His slowed down laugh and his slowed down hey adds to the creepiness. Let me know who you find the least scary in this one. Moving on to another very scary FNAF game, it's Sister Location. Now this game showed us that when FNAF steps out of their comfort zone and tries something a little different, they can still be equally, if not more horrifying than the games that came before. When looking at all the Sister Location animatronics on the surface, they don't seem that bad or that scary. But oh no, we are mistaken, because two of the scariest levels in any FNAF game exist in this one. First, Balora's Gallery is truly a heart-pounding and for sure gets the sweat pouring out of you, well at least for me. But as far as the least scariest animatronic, in this one, it's Bon Bon. Now, Bon Bon exists as like an extra piece of Freddy. He can freely jump around off his hand and run around. His physical appearance is very cute and is friendly, and his voice is even cute too. But another scary level that involves Bon Bon that doesn't make him just a tad more creepy is the Breaker Room, when we the player must use his voice to calm down Funtime Freddy so that he doesn't kill us. Also, I think that it's worth mentioning that Bonette, the female counterpart to Bon Bon, is also not scary, and even less so in Help Wanted 2. During Bonkabon, hitting these guys was really fun, and it felt good to finally fight back. Sister Location is up there in my opinion with FNAF 4 as the scariest FNAF game in the series. This game was really innovative and really fun. Pizza Sim seemed like a troll, but when it was revealed to be a full-fledged FNAF sequel, it was truly a great twist. This game brought even more animatronics into the roster, and it gave us the chance to create our own pizzeria. Now, as far as the least scariest, I'd have to give it to everyone's favorite hippo, Mr. Hippo. How could you possibly find him scary at all? I mean, all he does is just tell stories. One could argue that Pigpatch is also not scary, but I mean, Pigpatch is freaking ugly, come on. But what separates Mr. Hippo is his personality. In Ultimate Custom Night, after he jump scares you, he tells you many different, very long stories about his life or just lessons on life, making him the favorite out of the mediocre melodies. I wish that in Help Wanted 2, instead of Pigpatch being the enemy for Night 1, when you have to repair Helpy, it was instead Mr. Hippo. It would have been really cool to see him in VR. Let me know who's your favorite animatronic from Pizzeria Simulator. I also wanted to quickly throw in these two in there since they're kind of like spin-offs. FNAF World and AR are games that have an insane amount of characters, and it shows that FNAF could literally never run out of skins or any type of iterations of any character whatsoever. First, with FNAF World. Any character from here is very cute. Personally, my favorite is Golden Freddy. As far as FNAF AR, like I said, they will never run out of ideas for any different versions of animatronics. Personally, I like VR Toy Freddy, Game Over Toy Chica, and Flaming Springtrap. Finally, reaching the end here, we have Security Breach and Ruin. I put these as two different games because Ruin does have a different identity from Security Breach. As for Security Breach though, a game that took FNAF to the next level, I think that Glamrock Freddy was the least scary. Reason for this is because he was by our side the whole time. When in doubt, in a drought, Freddy would always run towards you and would jump in his belly. Though yes, he did have his moments when he was a little bit creepy, he was overall a cool and friendly character. As for Ruin, well now, here's where it gets a little complicated because I think it would have to go to Glamrock Bonnie, perhaps one of the most tragic stories in all of FNAF. A character who didn't even get the chance to be alive in game. How could you be scared? If anything, I feel really bad. To this day, we don't even have a concrete answer as to who killed him. Maybe Monty? Someone else? Who knows? And there it is, every FNAF game's least scariest animatronics, in my opinion, of course. I didn't include Help Wanted 1 or Help Wanted 2 because they're kind of like a mashup of minigame bonanza, with no original animatronics. Great games though. But I wanted to say thank you so much for watching. Please consider liking the video and subscribing. We're close to 700 subscribers. I thank you so much for that. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.